If you're looking to improve your aim, then make sure to check out Control Freak and use the code OGXRAYZ to get 10% off all the products. Link in the description below. Yo, what's up guys, it's XRAYZ. Welcome back to another Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombies video. I've been doing a lot of these, but there's just so much in the trailers that people have found, and specifically in this one we're going to be talking about Riese, we're going to be talking about Shadows of Evil, we're going to be talking about Mob of the Dead, and the connection that could possibly be tying all three of these together. So, first of all, I want to start off by giving credit to Mr. Raffle Waffles for being the first person to find this, which is a sign that is shown off for like a frame or two in the trailer for Shadows of Evil. You guys can see it on screen right now, but basically Nero is running past this sign, and if you look at the sign, which we're going to do, we're going to zoom in here on the bottom. If you are able to pick that out, it actually says Lower Silesia and also says stall work on the bottom. Now, where else do we know somewhere that's in Lower Silesia and also is some sort of factory, if you will? Well, there's Riese. Riese is actually located somewhere near Breslau, Germany, which is ironically in the game files for Black Ops 1, as Mr. Raffle Waffles pointed out, also located near Lower Silesia. Now, the reason I want to bring this up, because there's also a reference to Mob of the Dead, which the developers for Black Ops 3 Zombies, Jason, has mentioned is a direct, not really a continuation of Mob of the Dead, but it is in a sense in the same universe, but its own bubble. Now, to back this up a little bit, I want to take you guys on a little bit of an information tour here for you guys. So, one thing that we do notice really quickly is a connection between Mob of the Dead and Richtofen, or the crew, or Riese, I want to mention. It all started back when Mob of the Dead first came out. When Mob of the Dead first came out, everyone thought it was a separate storyline, something not connected to zombies. It was very much different. It had a lot of satanic references. We had the 3 different beast heads that you had to feed zombies, 6 zombies to them, 666. And now you have Shadows of Evil, which is basically kind of the same thing, kind of mobster kind of scene. It's the same premise where it's 4 people who have committed crimes that are in this kind of weird, I guess you could call it purgatory mode if you want to. A lot of people are referring to it as that, and also features a lot of satanic references. So there's that connection already between Mob of the Dead and Shadows of Evil, which we already know. Even the developers haven't acknowledged this fact. So when Mob of the Dead first came out, it was something a lot of people didn't really get used to. They were like, why are there satanic references? Why is this completely different from zombies? But after a lot of playing, people discovered something that was pretty mind-blowing. If you're playing and you were using the character Al the Weasel Arlington, if he had a ray gun and he shot a bunch of zombies, he would say, Nikolai, Nikolai, Nikolai. Why do I keep hearing that name? And a lot of people were like, what the heck, what is this? Why is Nikolai mentioned in this map? Does Al Arlington know Nikolai? So that was the first one. People were wondering, what is that about? Why is suddenly Nikolai being mentioned in a map that has nothing to do with the regular storyline? Again, there's satanic rituals, a bunch of stuff that you don't see in the regular storyline. Fast forward to the last map of Black Ops 2, and we get Origins. One of the coolest things about Origins was that Richtofen, the younger version of himself, had 2 vials of blood on him. The vials of blood had the distinct numbers of 2 of the prisoners from Mob of the Dead. So there's a second connection right there. Now you could argue that this is just a little hint that they put in the game to, you know, kind of reference to Mob of the Dead. It doesn't really mean anything, but I digress. This is what I think happened. And again, take this all as just a theory. Now we have to keep in mind what originally happened on Riese. Riese was the map that a lot of information first started coming out. We learned that Richtofen hated Dr. Maxis. He tried to kill him. This is even referenced in the beginning of the trailer. We also learned that Riese was a place that was used for experimentation, which you can also hear in the audio quotes from the trailer itself, where you hear Takiao say, "You must awaken the test subjects." Awaken the test subjects, which in this case was the older version of our original crew. So this is where I kind of take you guys on a weird theory kind of trip. This is what I think happened. And again, this is all a theory. This isn't confirmed by Treyarch. It's just me trying to put 1 and 1 together. But I think that Al Arlington, at least Al Arlington, if not the rest of his crew that was with him in Mob of the Dead, were all experimented on or put under some sort of drug. This is how Richtofen had access to the blood, and this is also why Al Arlington might have heard voices in his head. He was the one in Mob of the Dead who was going through the cycle over and over. He's the person who in Mob of the Dead kind of had an idea what was going on, and he was the person who kept hearing the words Nikolai, Nikolai. See, if you're in some sort of hallucinogenic, we'll call it that, and you hear something outside, you can still hear it internally. So I think what happened was these guys were experimented on. They were put under some sort of hallucinogenic or some sort of drug, which is how Al Arlington could have heard of Nikolai, could have heard of the name Nikolai. Maybe Richtofen was talking about him. And now maybe this is also why the new crew in Shadows of Evil has references to Riese. It also has satanic kind of references. It is a mobster type era thing, which could be some of the side effects of taking this drug or being experimented on, and also having a very distinct reference to Lower Silesia, which is again a reference to Riese. So maybe these guys aren't in purgatory, maybe these guys were being drugged the whole time, and that's why there's references to Nikolai, that's why there's references to Riese, and it all ties back to Richtofen, who has the vials of blood, which is a direct reference to Mob of the Dead. So I don't know, I mean, it's just something I wanted to put together. Let me know what you guys think. I know I got a little bit long here, but I wanted to kind of explain it for you guys very thoroughly. Once again, huge shout out to Mr. Raffle Waffles, who was the first person to find this Riese reference, and I just kind of wanted to piece together something else that I thought of. I know there's a lot of stuff that is inconsistent. Obviously, there's some people who are like, well, Origins crew started in 1917. Mob of the Dead had information that happened 1933, but there is the ability to time travel in Call of Duty Zombies. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, leave a favorite. It does get the content out there, helps the channel grow. And of course, if you are new, if you enjoy Call of Duty Zombie content and you want to see more like this, check out my channel. It will be linked in the description below, and make sure to subscribe so you guys don't miss the latest and greatest Black Ops 3 Zombie news and information. But anyways, guys, I'll see you guys next time. I'm Extras, I'm out. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.